shoot.
So we got three 16-inch 5.56 rifles with all different optic setups. We got a red dot, LPVO, and then red dot magnifier setup. We're going to be giving our opinions on what we think the most versatile setup is. We're going to be shooting at 100, 75, 50, 25 yards with all different optics, just giving our opinion.
We're going to ignore first and second focal plane LPVOs. We're going to keep that out. It's a whole separate topic.
Yeah.
Both perform generally the same, so
Yep.
we're going to try and keep all the optics as cheaper stuff that most people would be more comfortable buying. We're going to keep all the EOTechs and fancy stuff out of this video that's a little more expensive. We're going to be trying to keep everything on more of a consumer friendly price tag. So first setup here we got, this is a Romeo and Juliet combo. It's a 3x flip to side magnifier. I know a lot of people prefer the flip to center stuff, but obviously there's a huge price jump that comes with that type of optic, so we're just going to be running a simple red dot with the simple flip over magnifier. Couldn't tell you the exact price, but it is a pretty cheap combo. It probably runs $300 for the setup, so that'll be our magnifier gun. All right, for our LPVO setup, we have a second focal plane, 1x6, 24mm primary arms. I think the price of this thing ran just over $300. That is excluding the arrow mount, right?
Yep.
So that's excluding the mount. The mount is a whole separate deal. It's actually an arrow cantilever mount, so still probably a lower, cheaper mount. I mean,
Yeah, I think it ran about $50.
Great quality, but definitely on the cheaper side of prices. So that will be our LPVO setup. All right, for our standard red dot, we're going to be using the Holosun ARO Evo. It's actually another newer mount. Still runs pretty cheap. I want to say it was just over $300 for the optic, and this is using their taller mount. They come with a low pro mount and they come with a taller mount. This is their taller mount, so that will be our red dot for the day. We're using all the optics we're using seem to be about the same price range, it seems, so this should be a good comparison of consumer priced optics.
Starting off with the LPVO, I got a bipod on this because this is mainly a long range setup. I think this is where the LPVO is going to perform the best, obviously because it's got the most magnification. So throw a couple shots on paper, see how we're looking. All right, now we're going to try out the magnifier. This one's going to be in between. I think it'll do pretty good at 100.
All right, it's gonna be from the red dot at 100, so not gonna be a super fun one, but see how it looks.
Anyway, we got LPVO hits here, about a fist-sized group. Down here was the red dot, right?
That was with the red dot, and so
Not too bad.
it's actually pretty good. We had one flyer, again, about a fist-sized group, one little flyer out of here. Both of these optics have been zeroed.
Yep.
Coming over the magnifier, we didn't zero that, kind of forgot about that. It's a relatively new optic, kind of set that up real quick for this video. So although it's not zeroed, the grouping is definitely high from that, but again, still a fist-sized grouping, and we had one flyer that came up here a little high.
I'm blaming that on the paper. The paper came loose. So
Paper was blowing around a little bit, so all in all, I'd say we really got a fist-sized group with everything. Obviously, we had one flyer from each group. I'd say one each on the red dot and magnifier setup, LPVO, solid little group though. So yeah, I think that's great, especially not for no support, no sandbag, no nothing. That was just kind of freehand shooting from 100. So
yep, not too bad. All right, we're back at 75. I'm gonna be doing 6 shots on the steel gong down there while trying to advance. So we'll see how this is, shooting through some trees and limbs. blew my ear out, dude. How we do? LPVO is probably not my favorite for that. I probably would have preferred like the red dot or the magnifier, because when you're looking through the branches and stuff, it's the focusing of the optic that kind of becomes a problem, because you'll have stuff hanging over and it messes up the sight picture and all. But either way, not a bad option.
So we're gonna be running the magnifier. I'm gonna give that a shot, see how that works. We'll be doing 6 rounds from 75 through some pretty thick cover here in the woods. So I felt pretty good about how that performed. The only real complaint I have is you just have to get so close to that rifle just for that eye relief. It's just, you got to be so dogged down on the rifle to get a good view through it. It's the only complaint I have. I mean, once I notched up on that tree, it actually felt really nice to kind of sink down into the rifle on the tree, but kind of shooting from a free stance, I just felt like I had to really move my head, and I prefer to bring the rifle to me. And I mean, to get a good eye relief, the rifle's almost like this, so that's really my only complaint.
Red dot. All right, red dot's next. Let's see how we do. All right, so honestly, I think the red dot was my favorite, just because of how easy it is to use. I mean, with these, it really is just point and shoot, and you're on target. 75 is not far enough away where you can't see anything. So I think, you know, 75 and in, red dot's the way to go. It
really felt like it cut through the brush. You just were able to you're able to look past your target with your open eye and just really get on to exactly what you're looking at really quickly.
All the branches and stuff, it just wasn't even a factor.
All right, we're at the LPVO here at about 50, and I think we're just gonna put a couple from here, maybe walk up, do a couple as we walk up, and just see how it feels from a pretty open at 50. I would say that felt pretty good. I think it felt awesome. It's crystal clear. I mean, you can see really well what you're looking at. I think that's about 3 right there. It's only on 3. So you can see excellent at what you're looking at. The only thing that is a little, again, same like the magnifier, is kind of when you move and you come off it and you get back on it. I don't shoot this primary arms very often, so it's kind of a little weird getting your eye quick lined up, making sure you got a good view through it. It's the only thing, again, the eye relief is just coming up, and it comes with practice and using the rifle a lot, of memorizing where you need to be on that rifle. But other than that, I'd say it's absolutely great. It performs perfect. There's really no complaints.
All right, same thing as with the LPVO. Gonna put a couple rounds on steel, see how we do. Just moving around the 50-yard mark. All right, so I actually like that a lot. You know, like he's been saying earlier, the eye relief isn't great, but that just comes with magnifiers. If you can learn to get around it, like it's pretty good. If you don't have a problem with sitting up real close to your optic like that, it's really not bad having the capability to switch between red dot and have some magnification. But
the only thing we're not touching on, I think, with the magnifiers is that when you go to a more expensive, a little more professional setup and you're running a flip to center mount, it solves some of that issue. It kind of gets more to your eye. It's a little easier to see than the flip to side. Yeah. It gets up, and the more you raise that off the gun, it helps you get in there a little better. A lot of problems that we're running push-in ears, we're not running a big bulky walker, but if you're running a big bulky ear, it can be tough against the stock. You can't actually, it kind of hits up. You can see how he has to cheek up, so it kind of gets a little tight. And that can be solved by using a little more expensive a setup, flip to center mounts, bigger risers. but that's something that not really being taken into account in the way we're doing this, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the red dot from the 50. Again, we're gonna blow 5 out. General area, move up, move around a little bit. We're just gonna blow 50 from at 5 here. We're gonna blow 5 from 50. We're not gonna blow 50 because we're poor. That would be a little too expensive. But we got the red dot, 5 rounds from 50. See how it feels. It doesn't get better than that. I mean, it really, I'm a sucker for red dots. I have good eyesight, in my opinion. I can see pretty well. So I don't really, even out to 100, a red dot, there's something about being able to just throw that thing up and just get right down it. I mean, there's no obstruction. You just see it so well, especially when you get a little riser on there. You can bring it right to your head and you just get such a good shot. That's by far going to be my favorite.
I agree.
I know you like red dots, so
Oh, yeah.
I think you're on the same page. Maybe when we get older, we'll have to start switching to more magnified optics, but also where the state we're in, where we're at, there's not a lot of range to poke. I mean, it's very heavily wooded, as you can tell, so you're really not shooting too far through a lot of these woods and open spaces. The biggest you get is a 100-yard stretch, and that's because we cut it into the woods.
Exactly. Now we're down to 25 yards. I'm just gonna throw a couple shots on each target, then probably 2 in them hanging targets there.
Really just gonna focus on how quick you can pair between some targets out here.
Exactly. That's pretty quick. I only have it on 2 times right now, but I think for 25 yards, 2 times is probably the best. Still got a little bit of eye relief. Got to get up on there a little close. That's another thing we didn't talk about with LPVOs. The more you are zoomed in, the more you get the shitty eye relief, like the magnifiers. And once you back it out, it gets better and better and close to a red dot.
And once you're running it at 1, it really does perform like a red dot. It almost disappears, and you can shoot at 2 eyes very nicely.
Yeah, on 1 times it really is like a red dot. So that's another thing. This really is kind of the best of both worlds because you can put it on one and use it like a red dot. It's not as quick, I'd say, just because of how big, but you also have the capability of zooming all the way in, so it's really a tough call.
All right, so I think that actually performed pretty good. Really not too bad. Again, when you're not coming off the rifle when you're pairing between targets. You're not really coming off it, but you're kind of coming out of it a little bit, and it tweaks your eye relief a little bit. Like it's so close. You really got to be on that one spot, or you start losing visual of it. But even with a partial visual, you can still at this range hit a pretty good accurate target. So, I mean, you really get it out of the way. Boom! You just got your standard red dot. So that's your benefit of that is you always have a standard red dot, and really this is just kind of when you need to poke, you need a little bit of extra. So really I think all around it did perform great. All right, we got the red dot, got the, what is this so far? Maybe not the winner at distance, not the best group at distance, but definitely the favorite, I would say, so far. So see what it does. Missed that last one a little low, but man, that thing just cooks through targets in terms of finding them. With that both eyes open and you're just coming through, your target to target time is so fast. You can just see everything the whole time, and I don't know if that's your opinion, but I feel like you see so well. It's so fast.
I agree. It's hard to beat speed with the red dot. You know, the red dot's just so quick. Able to find that target, get shots off, see everything around it. All right, so if I'm ranking everything, I'm gonna go red dot as the winner. Then I'm gonna give second place to the LPVO and third to the magnifier red dot setup. The reason I did that is just because of how easy it is to hit with the red dot. You know, I think you can hit out to 100 perfectly fine. I mean, you saw the hits on paper in the first clip there. They were fist-sized group with that, so really no issues with accuracy there. Then the LPVO, I just love the versatility. You can flip it down to 1 and you're just about as good as the red dot, and then zoom it all the way up to 6. Some even go up to 8 to 10, and be hitting out farther than 100.
I think I agree with where you're at. I think they all serve a very good purpose in different situations. I think the red dot performs amazing all around, but again, some people may not be able to see as well at a distance, and under speed, I'm sure you start to lose some of that pinpoint accuracy if you're really trying to work fast, because you don't have that time to reset with that red dot after each shot. You will lose a little bit easier, and it takes you a little more to get on target at such a distance. But for the most part, I think the red dot performs great all around. I think the magnifier is great for everything. If you need that, you need it, it's there. It's nice that you can get it out of the way. Again, I think the flip to center mount to where it's at, it gets really out of your way. Sometimes with these flip to side mounts, I mean, no matter how you have it, that's kind of in your way. I mean, I prefer to shoot a rifle left. I'm fucked up like that, but even if you were shooting right, it's just kind of always out there. You know, you couldn't run some sort of on the side, you'd get in your way. But I think it's all a good idea around. I think it has its places, and you'd rather have it than not have it, I guess, if you need it. So I think it's great. I think it's great. It definitely, the eye relief is kind of miserable sometimes, especially on these cheaper ones, cheaper magnifiers. I had a really cheap one at one point when they first came out, and the eye relief, I won't drop a brand, but the eye relief was horrible.
Yeah.
This one isn't too bad. EOTech's magnifiers are great. They have a lot less of that issue, in my opinion. I think they're a little more clear, but
I agree. They're much better than that.
They still have the same issue to a point. So
yeah.
really, it depends. It's how much money you want to spend and what you feel comfortable with as a person and what your needs are for the rifle. I mean,
Yep.
not every rifle needs to be able to poke distance, and not every rifle needs to be able to shoot from here to here. So
at the end of the day, if you're not using a red dot and you're using anything with magnification, you're always going to deal with that eye relief problem. It's just something you learn to work around if that's what you like shooting, you know?
yeah, and I really think it just comes to purpose building rifles, you know?
I agree.
Like, you don't plan on running around with that gun. That gun's a pretty good sit down and hang out type of gun.
Exactly, that's why I got a bipod on it.
Both of these are I kind of have these more geared, I think, in the terms of like urban environment, you know, like, hey, you got to go into a building. It's a full-size rifle. It's not too tight. You don't want to be too tight with it, but if you had to go tight with it, I think you have the works to be tight with it, but you need to poke a little bit, you can still poke a little bit. And
yeah.
I think these are good mid-range, again, mid-range a little farther, but I think everything has its ups and downs, so I think it really depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.